Have you been struggling to get your bends working on your harmonica? Well, that ends today because in the next few minutes, we are going to get your bends working properly. Now, the first thing that you need to understand is that you bend on a draw hole in the low and middle ranges of your harmonica and a blow hole in the high octave, but functionally, it's the same thing. What we do is we're trying to bend and get the note that's in between our reeds. So as an example, let's say on hole 4 on a C harmonica, we have C on the blow note, we have D on the draw note, and we bend to get the pitch in the middle, which would be the C sharp. Now, on some holes where there's a larger spread of holes of notes that are in the middle, then we have multiple bends. We can play like hole 3. We can play a couple different bends here because of the difference in the note between the blow note and the draw note. Now, in the high register, those flip, and so instead of bending on a draw, we're going to bend on a blow. So we get a blow bend like this. Okay, but in today's video, we're really going to be talking about draw bends. Now, to trigger your bends, you need to make a slight expansion of the room inside of your mouth, and that's going to be done with your tongue. There's different ways of approaching this, but I fully teach and believe in the method of using your tongue. Now, it's just like a slide whistle. When the chamber gets bigger, the note is going to go down in pitch. Now, I've come up with an exercise that has worked for everyone that I've tried it with personally, and it's probably going to work for you too if you follow along. So do this. First, we're going to practice without a harmonica. So you can set your harmonica down. If you're a tongue blocking player, you're going to put your tongue on your bottom row of teeth, okay, like that. All right. If you are a puckering player, then just keep your tongue hanging in your mouth like normal. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a sound that is going to move our tongue in the same way that would happen if we were to bend. And it's crucial that when you try this, you don't open your mouth any wider to help you create that sound, because we want the sound to be created just with the movement of our tongue. So keep your mouth barely open, like you're going to play harmonica, right? Like that, right? Or whatever you're going to do if you're a tongue blocking player, just relatively neutral, and don't open it to make a big sound. Okay, so we're going to keep our mouth relatively close. Now let's make the sound together. We're going to make this sound. It goes, I'm going to exaggerate here so you can really hear it. You. That's the sound, okay? Now, as you see, when I'm doing it, I'm using my mouth, but ideally we're going to keep our mouth relatively closed and do this with our tongue. I'm a tongue blocking player, so I'm going to put my tongue on my bottom row of teeth, okay? And I'm going to make that sound. If I was a puckering player, then I'd be keeping my tongue just normally in my mouth, and I would make that sound again, but again, keeping my mouth pretty closed. So go and try that, okay? That's the sound we're trying to make. Now, if you do this, you are bending a note. You're just not bending a note using the harmonica. You're bending a pitch that you're making with your vocal cords, okay? We're still changing the space of that chamber, and as a result, the pitch is going to drop in the same way as a bend. So if you can make that sound, you can already bend. We just need to connect it to what you're actually doing on the harmonica. Now, let's take this a step further before we pick up our instrument. Let's try some other sounds that will help us isolate those individual pitches on the hardest hole, let's say, which is hole 3. Now, as I said earlier, there are some holes on the harmonica where we have multiple pitches to bend to. So on hole 3, we have 3 half-step draw bend, 3 whole step draw bend, and 3 1.5 step draw bend. And to match up with these particular pitches and to get some of the extra pitches on other holes, we can try some sounds. And I'm going to suggest that you try these sounds. Ki, ke, ku. Okay? Ki, ke, ku. Now you see, I'm not opening my mouth. It's the same thing as the previous exercise. Ki, ke, ku. Ki, ke, ku. My tongue is on my bottom row of teeth. If I'm a pucker player, it's just going to be in my mouth like normal. Ki, ke, ku. Okay? So if I'm a pucker player, my tongue is moving back as I say these pitches. Ki, ke, ku. It's like a wave. Ki, ke, ku. Like that. If I'm a tongue blocking player, my tongue is locked in place and it's going down progressively as I say these tones. Ki, ke, ku. Ki, ke, ku. Like that. All right? So remember, we're doing this with our mouth barely open, and if you're doing that, you're doing it properly. And once you can do that, we're going to put these together. Okay, no harmonica, mouth just barely open. Kikiku. Try it with me. Kikiku. Kikiku. So that was the exercise. Now, I want you to grab your harmonica. Let's try hole 3. This is the one that you really need to get. So we're going to do the exact same thing as we're doing when we're making that sound, but just with a harmonica in place. And of course, we're doing this on an inhale, not exhaling. And so that makes it a little different. The first exercise is going to help you get the bend initiated in the first place. So, ew. And you should get the reed to go down, and you should be able to do this on all of the holes up to 6, excluding hole 5. Okay, the lower you go on the harmonica, the deeper that cue, that sound gets, okay? The deeper your tongue is going to collapse, all right? And you should be able to get a note to change in pitch. If you can't, go back to the exercise without the harmonica and really make sure that your tongue is doing your work, not your mouth. So if you're going ew, ew, it's not helping you, okay? You got to make sure your tongue is doing it. Ew, ew, kikiku, kikiku. All right? Now, once you can get the bend working, we have to tune those notes to make sure that you can play the right note on demand. And to do this, you can use a tuner, but I'm more of a fan of drone tracks. The reason why I like listening to pitches and then tuning them to what you're hearing versus looking at a tuner is because it's closer to what we're actually doing in music. So you put on a drone, and then with the drone going, you bend to the pitch that you're looking for. Once you got it, just hold that note there. So hopefully you were able to bend, and once you can get that reed moving, you can get that pitch changing, then you can just worry about the tuning by using drone tracks. I hope that this has helped you. If it has, give this video a like. It helps us spread to more people. Now, if you want to use these notes over more music, you should check out my free scale cheat sheet. It gives you the notes so you can put the blues scale and the major pentatonic scale together so you can start jamming over backing tracks. It's free. The link is down below in the description. If you're having trouble with your bends, it could also be the setup of your harmonica. It's probably you, but it could be your harmonica. And if that's the case, just to get that out of the way and make sure that it's performing in the way that it needs to, watch this video up here to learn how to set up your harmonica to make your bends easier to pull off. I hope that this has worked for you, and I'll see you next time. Peace.